Alright, so you just successfully LS swapped your truck. You're doing burnouts, getting horrible fuel mileage, and having an awesome time. So what's next? Well, you want to pimp the inside of the truck, of course. I'm starting with these door cards. These things are blown out, water damaged, garbage. The crazy sobs on the internet want $300 for a new set of door cards. It might even be $300 for one door card. I forget. All I know is that's way too expensive. So on this episode of Tall Garage, I'm going to show you how we can do this on the cheap. Stay tuned.
貴様の拳などかほどにも効かんわい。お前はもう死んでいる。何?
So what high quality materials are we going to use for this little venture? Well, first of all, you're going to want a work surface. It's a cardboard, you know. That works out pretty great. Now for the actual backing of the door card, we're going to use a piece of recycled interior wall paneling that we're going to cut the shape. See? You got that. Only the finest hairspray, Gorilla Glue, a really sharp utility knife, and if you're feeling fancy, some clamps. And the final piece to this puzzle is a big roll of fabric that you got from Amazon. Let's make some magic happen. Alright, so to start with, we're going to remove the door panel. God help me if you don't know how to remove a door panel, but hey, I sure as hell didn't. Follow the screws is all I got to say on this one, fellas. I don't know why I needed 3 different bits for the 3 different types of screws they used on this door, but it is what it is. A good job, Ford. All right, now we get to use some power tools, baby. Well, I mean, it's a jigsaw, right? That's like a power tool. Anyway, not much to this, just don't cut off a finger is all I got to say. Maybe I should say don't try this at home, right? Because if you do try it at home and you whack your finger off, well, whose fault is that? That sounds like my fault. We don't want that. So I kind of skipped over this part a little bit, right? My bad. But I used the old door panel to trace where the fasteners go onto the new door panel. And then I just used a drill and some bits and just, started drilling them out. It's not too hard. Some of them didn't line up quite right, and that's because the door card, the used one, was a little warped, so they're a little off. If you put a little bit more effort into it, you can probably get them a bit straighter than I did, which would probably be a good idea to save you a little bit of frustration at the end. All right, so here I am test fitting the fasteners into the panel, and it's a little slow going. Some of the holes weren't quite right. I had to oblong some of them, and otherwise, make them different than what I originally came up with. But after cutting out the door handle hole and the vent hole, I did a test fit. And as you can see here in the test fit portion of the video, the door panel went on with no problem. So that was really nice to see. I'm going to be 100% honest with you. I'm half inclined to do wood paneling in the whole truck now, but we better just keep moving along. Alright, let's put this all together. So I left about 2 to 3 inches all the way around the workpiece. It was probably closer to 3. You probably want closer to 2. I think I had a little bit too much material, but that's okay. So just, cut what you're comfortable up. You can always cut material off. You can't add it. So I wanted to give the adhesive something to bite to. So I figured what better way to do that was than to sand it a little bit. So I got out the DA and I hit it with some 400 or 320, I think, just to give it a tooth. And then, blow it off real good. I probably should have wiped it down, but, I'm in a hurry. So follow the instructions on your spray, but ballparking guidelines are you want to spray both sides with a nice heavy coat. So here you see me hitting both the panel and the fabric to be glued together. And my can said let it set for up to 2 minutes to tack up. And most adhesives will, but as always, follow what your can says. And then just stick her on. It took me an attempt or two to get it lined up just right, but it stuck almost immediately. So I definitely would recommend this Gorilla Glue in a can if you can find it. Although the 3M stuff is supposed to be really good too. And if I had like my choice, I guess I would pick the 3M stuff. But I didn't. So now it's time to tackle the edges. Just kind of do it the same way. Spray your adhesive on and let it tack up a little bit. I use some strips of wood and some clamps to hold the fabric down while the glue set up. I figured that this was one of them better safe than sorry type of measures. I really didn't want the edges peeling up, so do whatever makes you feel comfortable. So if you want to put clamps, put a bunch of clamps. Can't hurt. Corners are hard. I didn't have much luck getting them to look great. Maybe with some practice I'll get better at it. Maybe it's like wrapping a present. I don't know. All I know is my corners didn't look too good. But I'm sure the next one will look even better. So I wouldn't sweat it too much. It's all going to be hidden, for the most part, behind the panel, right? So, but yeah, so I just use more clamps here on this side. And we move on to the next. We're just going to do the bottom here, or the top, I suppose, whichever the case may be. Throw some more clamps on, as usual. Look how good that looks, though. Look at it. It looks fabulous. I'm so happy with this fabric. But anyway, after the glue has all dried, I suppose if you have any holes to cut, now is the time to do it. I did like an X cut in all of the holes, and then I folded them over. You can see I'm putting the vent in here. I didn't glue the fabric for the vent. I just cut it all away, but it came out pretty nice, I think. Looked good. I don't really like the color. If I can find some black trim pieces from a Junkyard Ranger, I think a black vent would look way better. Same thing with the armrest. We'll go and try to find one of them in the future. But here is a moment of truth, right? We're going to stick this bad boy on. Hopefully all the clips fit. And it looks like they do. Maybe. We're going to find out. When all else fails, just hit it real hard. Like the clips are either going to go in or they're going to break. So, little piece of advice there for you. But after a little futzing around, the door panel's on and it's looking good. Real happy with it. We're going to go ahead and get the door handle cover thing on here now with its Phillips screw. Knock that out really quick. It's kind of dark in there, kind of hard to find the hole. I bet you guys never had that happen before, right? So anyway, we get it on, and then we're going to move over to the armrest, which was a pain in the butt. The screws weren't too short, but they could have definitely been longer. It really would have helped. So we go ahead and we get that on with its 6mm screws, or maybe they're like 9 and 32 whatevers. So they're in. Like I said, a black armrest I think would just look way better in a black vent. So hey, if anybody has any black trim pieces from Ranger, first gen, hit me up, and we'll throw the little window crank on with its Torx bit. So the trifecta of different types of screws, and there it is, gentlemen. There it is. Look how good that looks. Alright, so there you have it. Custom, one-of-a-kind, tall garage original door cards. And they're not perfect by no means, but neither is the truck. And we did it for a whopping of $60, which, in my opinion, is far more reasonable than what they're asking for new ones. And I think they look better, too. So, if you enjoyed this episode of Tall Garage, make sure you like and comment. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button because it really helps me out. We're trying to get to 1,000 subs by, like, I don't know, let's say, the end of the month. And I want to say I appreciate everybody that interacts with the channel in some way, and I hope to see you at the next video. So until next time, deuces.